As many of you already know, there has been an update to our food pyramid as of 2026 from RFK Jr. And quite honestly, it's about time. We have finally legally unlocked the key to true health. Over the years, the food pyramid has been pretty much flipped upside down, and we've seen a dramatic decline in our nation's health. Now that we've flipped it right side up, I believe that we are going to be seeing improvement in the health of our nation. At least I hope so. It all depends on if our nation decides to make food choices that align with this food pyramid or not. But let's get into the actual changes that have been made. So, starting off with our whole grains, these used to be the biggest part of the food pyramid, and now they are the smallest, meaning that you should be eating them in moderation. Next up, meats and fats. Those are now at the top of the food pyramid, along with fruits and vegetables, meaning that these food categories should really be composing a majority of your diet. Now, sugar and alcohol, that is very strongly discouraged. And sugar and alcohol lead to inflammation. And inflammation is the key to chronic diseases in your life. So, if we look at the food pyramid a little bit closer, it has a hidden pattern that not a lot of people are noticing or are at least not talking about. And that is how fruits and vegetable category is organized. Now, it is roughly organized based off of glycemic index. Now, for those of you who don't know what glycemic index is, it's essentially how quickly your blood sugar levels raise after you eat a food. If we look at the food pyramid, you see that veggies are at the top, and then you have higher glycemic index fruits at the bottom. So these include bananas and grapes. These are very high glycemic index foods. Now, the reason for this is because grapes and bananas raise your blood sugar levels a lot quicker. And we want to avoid that because we want to have good metabolic health in order to eliminate or decrease inflammation so that we can prevent diseases down the road. So you can see right here that grapes and bananas are at the bottom. Now, lower glycemic foods such as broccoli and carrots are at the top. You can eat more of those pretty safely. Though one thing that I have to critique the food pyramid about is that green beans and peas are in the vegetables and fruit section, and they're at the top. Green beans and peas are not actually fruits or vegetables. They are legumes. And I gotta say, I believe that legumes should be closer towards the bottom, closer to the whole grain section. I would move this and move that about here where the peanuts are. Because peanuts are also a legume and are already close to the whole grain section. The reason they should be closer towards the bottom is because they contain a chemical or a compound called phytic acid. Now, what this compound is an anti-nutrient, meaning it binds with other nutrients such as zinc and calcium and iron, and it prevents your body from absorbing those nutrients. So, for example, if you are eating an orange for the vitamin C benefits, and then you eat a legume right after, it's basically a waste. Just kidding. It's not that extreme. You still get those benefits from that orange, but it's not as beneficial and you don't get as much vitamin C absorption as you would if you didn't eat the legume right after. So, on top of that, a lot of people get that irritation when they eat that. I'm not going to base the food pyramid off of gut disruption. I'm going to base it off of the nutrients and beneficial components of the individual foods, or the negative components of the individual foods. So that is why legumes should be towards the bottom. Now, if you look at the food pyramid, you can also see that potatoes are above the bananas and the grapes, and they are closer to the middle of the food pyramid. But I would also bring that down closer to the whole grain section, because those are, once again, not a vegetable or fruit. They are actually a tuber or a root, and they are very starchy, and they have a very, very high glycemic index, meaning if you eat a potato, your blood sugar levels are going to rise pretty quickly, just like whole grains would. Now, it's not as bad as a whole grain, but it is still fast. So I'm not saying avoid these food items. I'm just saying they should be eaten in moderation, especially if you are someone who is already nutrient deficient. So when evaluating the remainder of the food pyramid, I think it's great. I think this change is long overdue, and I am very excited about it. Just like a lot of people in the health industry, they are very excited about it. I think this is the first step to really improving the health of our nation, but it is the first step. And I think there are a lot of improvements that still need to be made. First of all, being that we start using this food pyramid to regulate the manufacturing companies that make foods and prohibit them from adding certain ingredients in the foods that go against this food pyramid and what it recommends. I think we have a long way to go as a nation, but change starts with one step, and this is the first step. So some tips in order for you to be able to use to utilize this food pyramid and really improve your health is, one, shop the perimeter of the store. That's usually where you're going to find those foods at the top of the food pyramid, meaning foods that you should be eating the most of, like meats and vegetables and fruits and fats and dairy and all of that. When you are eating meats, go for grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised if you are able to. And when eating produce, try to go for organic. Make sure you are always washing your produce very well. And then in order to help decrease or prevent blood sugar spikes, make sure you are pairing those higher glycemic index foods, such as whole grains for sure, but also potatoes and bananas and grapes and other produce that has a higher glycemic index. Make sure you are pairing those with a protein and or a fat in order to help stabilize blood sugar levels and help prevent them from rising rapidly and crashing rapidly, in order to help prevent inflammation and therefore prevent chronic diseases down the road. If you want to read my article that goes a little bit more in depth about this, you can go ahead and check it out on my Substack at the Holistic Health Engineer. You can also follow me on Instagram at the Holistic Health Engineer, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.